there's this need to escape our environment. And I keep asking people, why do you need to escape? What do you need to get high for? And we see that there's a lot of violence being perpetrated even in the homes, even against our children, that people need an escape route just to be able to deal with what they're going through. Just this morning as we were driving to the studio, in fact, I actually had to stop because I saw this young boy beating this other young boy. And I'm like, is this play or is this fight? And you could see the tears in this young man's eyes. And the boy is like, we're playing. I'm saying, which type of play? This cannot be played. The other young man was crying. And it took me moving closer to this guy for the boy to let him go. And the young man was actually crying. So we see violence being perpetuated in every corner. And what really troubled me was that there was an adult around that vicinity that just sat down and did not deem it fit
to do anything or intercede.
Exactly. And this is the kind of awakening we want in our society. When you see something, say something. Your voice matters a lot. And it must not be somebody with a knife, but every form of violence. Like we have been saying, people are built differently. And people can withstand different amounts of pressure. So when you see something, please, let's all act to make the society sustainable, to make the individuals better. And I think why the young man was not wailing is that he has been told that young men don't cry, but you could see in his eyes that this boy is crying. So what are we trying to say? That violence should not be trivialized. Violence should not be seen as acceptable in society. The essence of the sensitization is for us to actually see the impact that this everyday occurrence that we see, how it debases our consciences. Just like the everyday spill of blood. Now, when you wake up and say somebody has been killed, it's like
it's a normal thing now.
It's a normal thing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But when we begin to awaken our consciences, like we're talking about, we now see the necessity of people taking action. So we are talking about violence. Yes, as the root cause of the increase in substance abuse. And in recent times, we have been hearing of this Miri and how it is wreaking havoc
especially amongst youths.
The youths. And surprisingly, we're passionate about women in this forum, you get? And most of the times we think that some acts of violence are not just for the other gender, is usually males. But surprisingly, women, young ladies,
some are more violent than male.
Exactly. And are taking drugs as well. The shisha, the cannabis, the miri, women are also abusing drugs. So we need to speak up because I've seen a couple of videos. I don't know if you have seen it. Yuji, I think you saw it when we saw teenage girls in a hangout and they're busy smoking marijuana. This has become an everyday occurrence. And you begin to ask yourself, why are the youths turning to drugs? Why are the youths turning to drugs? Why do they need to escape? And what's the way out?
Yeah. There's something I want to say. When we talk about violence, a lot of people feel probably it could be only when you hit someone. There's sexual violence, there's physical violence, and then there's psychological violence.
There's verbal violence.
Yes.
Verbal abuse.
Verbal abuse.
There's emotional abuse. There's physical abuse. And we've even added economic abuse to it. Yes.
Do you mind explaining the economic abuse?
Economic abuse is when you limit someone from achieving economically. It's just like you see a woman that is an entrepreneur, enterprising, and you decide that she's only good to be in your kitchen and the other room.
Okay.
So that's the form of abuse. Yes, she has an entrepreneurship spirit, and you decide that she cannot excel, she cannot thrive because she must be in your kitchen or the other room. So that's the form of abuse. So all these forms of abuse is what is actually increasing the need to get high. I like, I don't know if you've heard of systems thinking. Systems thinking is when we think about, we see everything holistically, right? So when we talk about drug abuse or substance abuse, we must actually delve into the root cause of the matter.
True.
People do not just want to get high. People do not just turn to alcohol.
They're trying to escape from something.
There is a root cause. Do you understand? People do not just turn to prostitution. There is a root cause. There is a cause, and this is the effect. So for us to actually make society better, for us to actually improve our lives, for society to be sustainable, then we must be tackling the root causes of issues. So one of the root causes is that there's a lot of violence. Emotionally, verbally, psychologically, emotionally, economic. There's a lot of violence. That's why we feel we are not able, we feel we are not well equipped to face the world. So we need a substance to give us that extra boost to actually face the world.
Okay. Yuji, is there anything you want to say about this gender-based violence and substance abuse?
Okay, Antimaka has already started that conversation. The truth is, when people go through violence, it's easy for them to want to find succor in something if there is nobody to listen to them. So they tend to, tilt towards what makes sense for them at that moment, or what gives them that hope they are, looking for. So it's not it's something that is not far-fetched that people who go through abuse delve into drugs. They want to find that joy, they want to find that comfort in drugs. And the truth is that if you check out men who also abuse women, you find that some of them do drugs.
Yeah,
it has there's a link between violence
and drugs.
People that beat people, sometimes you find that they don't even do it with their clear minds. Some of them are under an influence, so they tend to exert pressure, because in that mood they're excited. They have so much energy. And if you check out the rate of rape in society, some of these it's increasing because some of these drugs people indulge themselves in increases sexual urges. So sometimes they want to relieve themselves of that ecstasy, of that excitement, and they get themselves involved in vices that leads to gender abuse. So there is so much that gender abuse has to do with drugs too. There's a relationship between that, and I think something we need to pay attention to. And Tamaka was talking about speaking up in previous sections we've had. If you look at this philosophy of speaking up, if there's no one to listen to them, definitely they will talk to drugs. Who
would you open up? Exactly.
They will talk to drugs. So I think as much as we're talking about drug abuse, we also need to enlighten the public that we need to be there for these people going through abuse, so they don't, in a bid to get out of something, get into another problem. Yeah.
Talking about giving ears to people who are survivors. Sometime when someone walks up to you and is trying to explain something to you, you're like, leave it now. This is something that happens in our society, Didi. Leave it. Shebi is rape now. We need to be able to encourage people like that, especially if the person's musters courage to come and tell you, this is what I went through. This is it. Because just like you said earlier, that most times when we wake up and see news of they killed people here, it's like, that's a normal thing now. So if people who rape survivors, maybe they walk up to their parents like, leave it, Jerry, if they hear it now, you as a woman, no one wants to marry you, because all that. So I feel people should be able to listen to these people, because it takes courage to speak up.
True.
If I want to speak up and open up and I meet you and you're not even giving me the listening ear, you're not giving me the attention I need, I'll go back to my shell and do whatever it is I feel I can do to make myself or escape from that pain at that moment.
Exactly.
So, Anjamaka, how do we encourage people to seek succor somewhere else and not in substance abuse?
Okay, I think I'm really, really excited right now, because now we have a policy on ground in the States, so that makes it easier. So it goes now beyond you listening. Do you understand? There's now a legal framework with which such an individual can get justice. Yes, it starts with speaking up. Yes, it starts with you speaking to somebody. But the thing right now, and that's part of the excitement in the air, that we have a framework with which perpetrators can be brought to book and with which people can be held accountable. But like I always say, it starts with speaking up. Yes, when you meet people that go through these things, part of the issue we have in our community is that we do not know how to handle this issue, right? You feel okay, leave it now. God, there is God.
God will judge.
Exactly. But right now, part of the sensitization is to point people towards where you can reach help. And I keep saying it time without number. She-ild initiative is here for anyone that needs to speak up. If you need to speak up, reach out to She-ild Initiative. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. We have a physical office, right? We will link you up to psychologists, psychiatrists, and give you the necessary medical assist that you need. Then if you want to take it a step further, which I advocate for, we have organizations that will be willing to take up your case with little or no fee. And thanks to the governor who assented to this bill, there is now a legal framework with which we can get justice.
Okay. In the spirit of signing off this bill, yesterday I was on social media. I saw different posts, especially from men. But one particular post caught my attention. The man said that now that they've signed this bill, that a lot of women are going to use this against men, even when the situation or whatever it is that happened does not really amount, or how do I put it, does not really amount to
rape?
Yeah, or whatever.
And read it to be well educated and enlightened on what is in the VAP bill. And like we said, the VAP bill is Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. So it's not limited to a gender. Do you understand? It's not limited to a gender. So a man can get justice if he's falsely accused. Do you understand?
True.
So what we need to do is to study the bill, and be well informed. Then if it comes to sexual experiences, guys, you need to be more aware right now. When a girl says no, she means no. No does not mean, but she was giving me green light.
And you know that they'll tell you there's no. There's no now. That no now indirectly means yes. And I'm wondering, no is no. There's no now. There's no slow no. And there's no yes no.
Exactly. No means no. So you need to be very, very, very vigilant and get consent. One. Then two, you must know the age of whomever you're tangoing with.
True.
So if you, maybe she looks, in your eyes, she looks 25 and she's below 18. You're in for it. So ignorance of the law does not absolve you of its consequences.
True.
So the first thing I would say is get yourself acquainted with what is in the bill. But I want to assure you that it cannot be misused because, like every law, it had passed through different readings, and a lot of things have been modified and adjusted to ensure that it covers every angle that you can think of. So when you have an issue and you have a lawyer that can interpret that law very well, I don't think the men have any reason to be afraid. Do you understand? Because justice is justice. There will be fair hearing, right? Nobody can abuse it. Once you got the steps right. If she says no, guy, move on. Even if she's dressed seductively, no matter how
It's not
she's
an
dressed, it's not
invite.
an excuse. It's not an invite. You must get consent. And besides, this is not just only for rape. The law is not just for rape. We're talking about violence. You have no rights, be it your spouse.
Exactly. That's a conversation
to
for another day.
Yes. I know in our traditional sense they say a man has the right
to
whip
hit a
his
woman.
wife
Why?
with the rod of correction.
She's not your property or your slave.
Exactly. So you need to begin to check your actions. There are limits to what you can do. There's a legal framework. So if you have anger issues, now is the time for you to go to anger management classes. Now is the time for you to learn how to sit and dialogue with your spouse. There are a lot of things you can get away with right now. Communication is key. So you need to get a copy of the VAP bill and get acquainted with it.
Talking about this abuse in marriage, but some women feel if he doesn't hit me, that means he doesn't love me. He loves someone else. But when he hits me, that's when I know he loves me and he's into me. And I begin to wonder how love is not violence.
True.
A man hitting you does not mean he loves you.
Yeah.
So why would you feel loved when a man hits you? How do we change this mindset? UG.
Okay, I think somehow culture has a role to play in this too. And then what's it called? I think I've seen people who they tell me. I think when I was in school, someone told me if he doesn't beat me or shout at me, he doesn't love me, and I'm like, for real? So I didn't quite understand what she meant, and I was trying to understand what is this girl actually talking about. But the truth is that some people have defined love to be, what's it called? to be violent.
Yeah.
They feel if you're not, that means there's a side chick
Child-
somewhere,
yeah.
or you're not, you don't love them, or you're not faithful. That means you're just. But the truth is that we need to redefine what we call what. That's why I said culture has a role to play. Some of these people must have grown in homes where they feel it's normal to beat a
Abuse
woman.
is
normal.
Yeah, they feel it's normal to abuse a woman verbally, psychologically, and anyhow you can think about it. So they now get into a relationship, and then because our families have normalized these things, maybe they've seen their mom going through things and she's like, it's fine, you know. And Samaka will say, they'll tell you, marriage, you won't didi. Marriage is supposed to be endured.
And not enjoy. How is that
So
even possible?
people have grown with such ideologies about life. So when they get into their homes and they're enjoying marriages, they feel like, no, this is
not normal.
It's not the normal thing. So our environment has a lot to do. That's why it's important to sensitize people on what is normal. Because if you grow in an abnormal environment, it's normal to you. When you come out and see the normal things being done, you feel like these people are not getting it right. So we need to start telling people what the right things are, so that they know and they are positioned for it. If you're in your home, your mom went through abuse or something, that is not normal. It's abnormal. So when you come out, you shouldn't expect abuse in your own marriage. You should seek for opportunities where you are enjoying your marriage, you express yourself and you can be heard. So we need to start changing those things. And then the narrative that a woman should be seen and not heard, so has made a lot of women silent about so many issues. They don't talk about it. Let's just endure it. So it makes womanhood look like it's a journey of endurance. Like you just have to endure
whatever that comes with it.
Yeah,
just
endure. So you're living your life to endure. Whatever they throw at me, I have to accept it because I'm a woman. So we need to start changing those narratives.
All right, if you want to join the conversations, the numbers to call are 090-922-29922 or 091-226-77989. We are discussing gender-based violence and how it links to substance abuse. 0909-922-29922 or 091-226-77989. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Precious from NCT Road.
You're welcome, Precious. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you for this program.
You're welcome.
And please, our parents do have a lot of roles to play when it comes to gender abuse or whatever. Because you see a girl, maybe 15, 13 years, 12 years, you can see the kind of dressing she's putting on. And mind you, nature, at times, nature, just like as you say, nature has a human being is a human being. The person might be moved just because of what his eye is seeing, not minding the age of the person. Even in our society here, because sometimes, just like the Bible, let me take a quote from the Bible. It says that the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So we should be very careful what our children are putting on for the society. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Precious. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Your name and location.
This is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Nazir.
All right, welcome, Emmanuel. Go ahead.
Please, when it comes to this beating of a woman, I love this program. It's very, very wrong. It's very, very wrong. And I've noticed that some women, they cover it up. They don't say it out. When your husband beats, you speak out so that the public can know. And this woman that is staying in our compound, the husband beats her always, and she covers up until it turns to it goes to an extent where she receives severe beating, and you see bruises on her body. And you ask her, what is wrong? I fell down, all these things. And it happens to be that his son, at the age of 7, the boy will go to school and tell the fellow classmates, when I grow up and get married, I will beat my wife very well. That's how my daddy used to do it.
Oh my God.
So you will see. And because of what you said about culture, the boy is now learning it. He now looks as if it's a normal thing to beat the wife. So it's very wrong. I wish that some women will learn from this program and know that it's very wrong. when your husband is beating you, you speak up. Maybe you go to a therapist or someone that you can explain to, and maybe probably you report it to a police station. So when it goes too much wrong, they can get the man arrested. Life has no ticket.
Exactly.
So true.
Thank you very much. Tamaka, would you like to react today to what the caller said?
That is pathetic. I think I've seen a lot of this happen where women cover up just to protect their husbands in quotes,
save their marriage
in quotes. But you end up creating monsters in the midst of that marriage.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Yeah, this is Sonny calling from airport.
Your name is?
Sonny.
20. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much. In this issue of being a woman, women are weaker vessels and as such should be treated as they are. You understand? Now, there's something I want to make clear to women. There are some certain things or some certain level of things that a man can take. You understand? Now, women have taken it that they've taken it as an advantage for them to do whatever they like. Disrespect, insult, do whatever thing they want to their husband or anything because they said men cannot beat or it's not good for men to beat men. Now, don't get me wrong. Women are not supposed to be taught or beaten, but women should mind what they do. There are some men, it's anything, like, there's some extra things men will do to a man, and the man might react. He might have been tolerating, taking those things to heart, leaving it, doing as if there's something happening, but there's really something going on. There are extents you push a man to. He might be forced to do anything. So women should be advised. They should be told on what to do and how to handle their home, how to respect their husband. They've taken it that, okay, this thing is not good for in society, it's not good for a man to beat a woman. Now, these women are to themselves is doing nonsense. I'm not saying women should be beaten. No, I'm saying that women should be respected because they pass through a lot. But women should also mind what they do. They should watch their steps. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Tony, for calling. For what he said, I just have to say this.
Yeah.
He said women should mind what they do and they should tell women. I don't think there's anything that would warrant you to raise your hand on no matter what she has done to you. My mom would always tell you, as a man, women naturally we love, we can talk a lot and we can get you angry. If a woman gets you angry, take a walk, leave the house. If you have a car, just drive around, go somewhere, call a friend and chill. Later you come back to the house. If you know you'll be pushed to hit her. So I don't think there's anything a woman would do that will make you're telling yourself, I really need to correct. It's just like when a kid does something and you just have this urge to spank the kid and you need to correct you and all that. No.
Yeah, that's where courtship comes in. So I don't think anything you're seeing, you just sprung up, right?
True.
You must have courted your spouse and you must have gotten to know her to an extent. So what will she do that will make you to hit her?
Exactly.
And I don't think we have arrived there as a society where women feel we have a lot of rights. So we can talk to a man anyhow.
No.
We're not there yet.
True. We're not there at all.
We're not there yet, yes. We're not there yet. So I don't think that women are actually towing that line. But I think there's a place for conversation in relationships. There must be an open channel where you discuss objectively. Put your ego aside. Let's discuss this issue. But the thing is that Okay.
Let's take this call.
All right.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
I got back. I want to say something concerning what the last speaker said now.
Cool.
Like I always said, marriage is just like when you have 10 musics in your phone and you delete 9 and leave 1. You play that song every day, every minute. It's boring, right? But you get used to it. And when I asked somebody a question, the person said, at least you get to know the lyrics of the song from the beginning to the end. Marriage is something that the two people came from different families.
Yeah.
They were trained by different parents. You don't expect your wife to talk the way you talk. You don't expect your wife to behave the way you behave.
Yeah.
They are from different attitudes. So what you need to do is, when your wife gets you angry, you walk away.
Sure.
Or probably women, I'm married, and I noticed that there is something about my wife. When she wants to get me angry and when she's angry, there are some things I will do and I'll smile and I will just pet her. And that moment just what they need is just, at the moment they want to get you angry, try to hold yourself and smile back at them, and you will see them begging you, apologizing to you for what they have done. So you don't have to say the woman should. Yes, I know that everybody comes from different backgrounds.
Yes,
and if you really want your wife to be good, then teach her in a polite and in a sweet way. She will learn. You teach her. You are the one that will make your marriage sweet, not beating.
Yeah.
It's just the way you plan yourself and the way you organize yourself that will make your marriage look so sweet. If you don't plan it well and go into marriage, then my sister, my brother, you will jump out, because definitely she was stressed. Okay, let's assume she came from a family that fights, or all these men that they say that there is a lady I met last time. She says, a man cannot tell me what to do. I decide what to do.
Wow.
So when you meet that kind of lady and you talk to her and she said, no, you can't tell me what to do. I do whatever that is in my mind. What you need to do is to look for her weak point, then hit it on her. Calm down. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Lucas Sunday.
Where are you calling from?
Calling from Southern Service.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I want to recommend you people for such a program.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I want to also say that when you talk about gender equality, you should also, and they both sex are involved in it, because I've seen situations where wives bully their husband.
True.
Me, I'm married. I pray never to touch my wife. Because all through the time my dad stayed alive, he never touched my mom. I've never heard him shout at her. And I pray never to do so. And I try as much as I can to keep to that, because I love that. But this one is now situation where wives bully their husband, because I've seen that several times. I know of a woman. She doesn't allow the husband to talk. Sometimes she gets to the extent she wants to hit the man. So in situations like this, what will this man do? I want this question to be answered. Because I know this man tolerates, endures, try not to touch this woman. But when I see this woman acting, I ask myself, is this a woman? Why will you be treating your husband? And anytime this man will want to hit her, they will now forget there was a time this woman does this. Now, this man is reacting to her action. So, you can also enlighten other people who are not aware of this.
Thank you very much, Antemaka.
Okay. I like this flip side, and like we have always been saying, gender-based violence is not just limited to the females. Yeah, men do go through abuse as well.
Yeah.
And we have said that over and over again. But why it looks as if more emphasis is placed on women and girls is because we are more susceptible to it. Yes, but that does not in any way eliminate the fact that men do go through violence. And like we said, and I'll say again, if a man is going through domestic violence, then he needs to speak up as well. And that's why I'm so excited about the VAP bill, because it does not just protect the woman, it protects the man as well. It's a violation against persons. Do you understand? So there's provision for the man as well to look for justice, to seek redress if he has been offended. But beyond that as well, you can go through therapy, right? You can meet a psychologist. You can go through counseling. there are different avenues we have that are open and available to actually treat such issues. But the thing is that in our cultural setting, in our society, we do not know about these opportunities, and we keep enduring, and things keep on escalating.
Okay. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Dave calling from World Bank.
Welcome, Dave. Go ahead.
Well, I don't really have much to say about this, but I just have something to just offer. My own opinion. Like the last caller said, some men are going through domestic violence too. I know. There is a man I know, like, in my village, his own got to a point whereby people were now saying that he's under spell, that the wife put him on, that he's controlled by the wife. That kind of thing now. The man doesn't bully his wife, and his wife doesn't bully him. But simply because he does what the wife says, now people were saying he's under a spell. That is love, But if the same man now still bully the wife, people will still talk. I don't think every man that maybe is doing what the wife says is under a spell or something like that. But when it comes to beating a woman, there are some things you do that you cannot correct. Once you make that mistake for the first time, you cannot correct it again. Because once you bully your wife, like the time I was staying with my mom, she used to say, once you bully a woman, your respect is gone forever.
Yeah.
Like, she will never have that. In fact, if she loves you before, like, she loves you like 100%, that time you start, and your life is at stake because she can just take your life at any time. So bullying women, I don't think is there's other things to do. You can make a woman to regret what she has done. Like, she will even come to you and beg and cry, even without you raising your voice at her. I've seen my mom and my dad do such. Sometimes my mom will say, "Daddy, please, now, I'm sorry, I don't know when I said it." But since right from when I was small to this my age, I've not seen my dad even shout at my mom. Sometimes I do ask myself, if this man shout at her, even to ourselves, And growing up with that, mindset, it's not good to beat the woman. I think it's good, and every father should, learn how to do that. Every husband. Yeah. It's very good.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you very much, Dave.
I think he just highlighted something. You get each time, let's say a man does what his wife wants, it's like he's under a spell.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But when a woman does what her husband says, she's not under any spell. And that also brings into perspective for me different temperaments. I know of a couple, right? You will hardly hear the man speak, but the woman is speaking. What the man is doing, you are not seeing it. But because she's the more expressive one with her emotions and with words, you can only see her actions, but you don't see what he does. I'm not negating the fact that men do go through abuse, right? But sometimes because people are different, she might be the vocal one and he might be the reserved person. There are different dynamics when it comes to relationships and marriage. So such things should be taken into cognizance when you're talking about an issue. Then secondly, when you say he's a man, a woman will push a man, and the man will beat the woman. And I wonder how many times have women been pushed and how many times have they really fought back? Yeah. Do you understand? So we're all human and we all have buttons that are being pushed. But what makes you an adult is that you're able to control your emotions. That's why we keep saying that marriage is an institution for two mature adults. When we talk about maturity, it's not just about age, but it's emotionally. You must be emotionally mature, mentally, psychologically,
so financially.
You just iced it.
Very important.
Do you understand? So you must be sure that you're able to actually handle the situations, because no relationship is actually rosy. Even rose has thorns in it.
True.
So that's the nature of the institution. So for you to be in a relationship, you need to be that mature to handle it. Okay. So because there's no reason, there's no excuse for an abuse.
I want to go back to what Yuji said about parents. In a family where the man beats his wife or the woman beats her husband, whichever way, and the kids are there, these are some of the things these children pick up. And you see them struggling with these things. They might not say it, but these are the kids we see in school who start abusing drugs at a very tender age. Recently in Ogun State, some students were suspended because they were caught smoking shisha, secondary school students. Who knows the kind of family these children came out from? Who knows the kind of violence they've seen? So this still boils down to violence and substance abuse. They've seen a lot.
Yeah.
And most times they don't even know who to meet in the family, whether the mother or the father, to tell this thing is affecting me psychologically. And they might go to school and meet another child that has the same background with them. And that's where they team up. And the only solace they can find is by taking drugs.
You just mentioned shisha, and right now, our teenagers are inventing things that make them high. And for me, this is actually very, very pathetic, because we're not looking at the side effect of these things. We're just looking at the momentary relief we get. And my heart really, really bleeds, because I've seen that parents are not being intentional about their parenting. Because if you're intentional, you have to weigh the consequences of the actions that you do in your home, the consequences and the impact it's having on the kids. A lot of young people get high these days. Because we do go for secondary school outreaches. And we have seen and heard a lot. Even this, you see a girl talking to a boy, and the mother decides that the only way to discipline that girl is to put pepper in her genitals, in her private.
Do parents still do that?
Oh my, it's still being done. It's still being done. And these things do not, why not have that conversation
with her?
I know of a friend of mine that said her mother told her that if a man touches you, you get pregnant. And she took it literally. If you touch her, she begins to freak out. Do you understand? We need to start talking about issues with these are young adults, right? Sex education, what you're feeling.
And sorry to cut you short, but another mistake parents make is they wait for their female children to grow up before. You should start from the age of 2, 3. Because most of them, that's the age that they get abused or molested by their so-called uncles and whatever.
They tell us that there is a sex education appropriate for each age. And that's the thing we do not know. People just go into marriage. Oh, I love you, get into marriage. But there's a lot of equipping you need to get as a parent. For each age, there is a sex education appropriate for that age. So you begin to talk about these things small. Okay, I was talking to my daughter the other day, and I was like, oh, there's female condom. And she's like, I said, I will show you. I'm not saying she should go and use the condom, but it's an awareness. Do you understand? We need to be aware of these things. These things are happening underneath our noses. Right now, if you see your child with something like Lacasera and Tom,
you should check.
You should check. You should check, because they are innovating different things. Even they said, is it leather? Some said there are different things people are doing. Gum.
Just to get high.
There are different things people are doing, and getting high is an escapist approach. It does not really solve the problem. So if your child is trying to escape you and cannot sit down with you in your house and really wants to be outside, there's something he or she is running away from. So we need to start creating that conducive atmosphere in our homes where we actually interact with our kids. It's intentional.
Very important.
Once your child starts locking him or herself up in his or her room, that's a red flag. Someone posted something. He said you need to always, once in a while, you need to ransack your teenager's room to check what.
That's true, though,
because these things are happening. Okay, I would like to end with this story. I heard of this was graduation, and these SS2 students came with a bag full of cannabis.
SS2 students.
SS2 students. You need to have seen the drugs. You need to have seen the gene. You need to have seen what they had in their bags. And I was really freaking out, because I don't know. I can't even walk with that in my bag without freaking out or panicking. So parents, this is just a wake-up call. We need to be alert and we need to be vigilant. There's a lot of substance abuse going on.
Thank you very much, Auntie Amaka. Okay, we have a comment on Facebook. Let me quickly take this comment. I'm a strong advocate against domestic violence, but sometimes these women can bring hell upon a man. So I think sometimes it is okay to shape them with one slap. No go do in brackets. Thanks. And anti-courtship has nothing to do with a man hitting a woman. Finally, men don't hit women no matter what. Thanks and good day. This is from Ayanwo Nadine Chiemeka. Thank you very much.
So many contradictions in that statement.
Thank you very much, Chiemeka. Thank you, Auntie Amaka. Thank you, UG, for coming. Thank you very much for enlightening us on gender-based violence and substance abuse.
And I think this is a wrap for the year. We continue with Candid Talk next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for calling in to contribute. Do have a lovely day ahead.
Candid Talk on Radio, powered by She-ild Initiative.
When other stations hear us, this is what they sing.